Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. This is your brother YAH once again with another teaching on the Shabbat. We are in the last leg of the so-called African American Black History Month, shortest month of the year. We're going to get straight into the word because we got a lot of stuff we're going to cover in a short amount of time. So I'm going to kind of move expeditiously. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. The purpose of this particular sharing is we're talking about prophecies, identifying Israel through prophecies, right? Now there are tons and tons and tons of prophecies. In this particular segment, we're going to deal with the scattering. We're going to deal with the scattering, okay? And if Yah permits, we'll deal with other words like captivity, plucked up, anything that deals with what the Most High said, how he would scatter us or to force us out of our land of nativity into lands of captivity. So with that said, we're going to open up with the very first passage, which is Leviticus 26. We're going to open up with that, and then we're going to move expeditiously. And let's see, Leviticus 26. And I got so much going on here in my mind, but at the same time, we're going to prayerfully bring something to you that you could share with your loved ones and even your enemies. Okay, that's proof of prophecies that the so-called African American blacks, Negroes are the biblical Israelites. Okay, so we're going to start with Leviticus 26, and we're going to read we're going to start right at verse 30. We're going to read Leviticus 26 verse 30 down to 34. Okay.
And I will destroy your high places and cut down your images and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols. And my soul shall arbor you. And I will make your cities waste and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. And I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors. I will bring the land into desolation. And your enemies which dwell there shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbaths.
So the Most High said in that passage, what I want you to get out of that is, in verse 33, he says, I will scatter you, right, among the heathens. So let's look at that word scatter, right? And it's going to make some sense. In the Hebrew, what is that word for scatter? Okay, the word for scatter, hold on a second, I just lost my place there. Okay, the word for scatter is the word zara, which means, it says, to toss about, by implication to diffuse, right? To diffuse. To winnow. So the word diffuse, what does it mean to diffuse something? Let's see. Okay, we know by process of elimination, right? Diffuse means what? to put out, like you say, diffuse an argument.
Break it up, separate it.
Diffuse. Okay. I got two mice and two keyboards. I'm trying to work with. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so it says to pour out and spread as fluid, to cause to flow and spread, right? Okay, so that's to spread out, to diffuse, right? The other meaning for the word scatter is to winnow, and that is to separate and drive off the chaff from grain by means of wind. Grain is winnowed by a fan or by a machine. That's interesting. Another scripture just came to my mind was where the Most High says something about that he would fan Israel. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah 51, and we're going to read Jeremiah 51, verse 1 and 2. Most High said that he would fan Israel. The Babylonians, I think it's. All right, 51 and 1 and 2.
Thus saith Yah, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
Okay, all right. So that really was talking about Babylon. But that's for another lesson, because another lesson we're going to do is we're going to do a lesson on the judgment of the nations, right? The Most High has a judgment day for the nations. Joel chapter 3, he said, I will judge all nations. So there's coming a judgment day for the nations. The Most High is going to judge the nations, right? Okay, now let's go to Deuteronomy 4 and 27. We're going to read solo verses unless otherwise, okay? So Deuteronomy 4:27. All right. On the last wing of this cold, but preferably to be gone this week completely. Okay, Deuteronomy 4:27.
And Yah shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yah shall lead you.
So Yah said he will scatter. So now we're talking about identifying Israel through prophecies. The prophecy said he would scatter Israel among the nations, and he says you shall be left few in number among the heathen. So that's why statistically, everywhere we are the minority. That's prophecy. Ask the statistics in the cities where we live. Ask them, who's the minority in the United States? See that? It's prophecy. He said, I will scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathens. We are the minority, not the majority, brothers and sisters. It may appear that way. We may see more Israelites on the streets, but the Most High said that we would be few amongst the heathens. Not the many, not the majority, but the few. All right. Let's go to let's stay in Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28:64. All right. We all know this one here. This one is a regular. 28:64. Let's read 63 and then read 63 and 64. Okay.
And it shall come to pass that as Yah rejoiced over you to do good and to multiply you, so Yah will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And Yah will scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other deities, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So in verse 63, the Most High said, you shall be plucked up. That's detail. He didn't say you was going to get a visa. He didn't say you was going to migrate. You were going to exchange your location. But he said that you will be plucked up. Right? And then the next verse he says, he said you will be scattered among all people. Right? From one end of the earth to the other. And then to seal it up, he says you're going to serve other deities which your fathers have not known. Our fathers did not know a Jesus. Right? Our fathers did not know a Lord. Right? Our fathers did not know a God. Our fathers did not know a Jehovah. Right? Our fathers did not know a God the Mother, or God the Father, or God the Holy Spirit. Right? Our fathers did not know Allah, right? Or Muhammad, the Mahdi, right? All right. Read verse 65, please.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yah shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
So, there we go again. Look at us as a people and we can just deal with the United States where we are. We got the same story. You can go to DC, you can go to Baltimore, specifically Baltimore. You can go to New York City, to all the boroughs up there. You can go to Chicago. You can go to Philadelphia. You can go to Detroit. I don't leave anybody out. You can go to, what's a major city? Buffalo. You can go to New Jersey, North Jersey, South Jersey. You can go to Atlanta. You can go to Chicago. You can go to, the list goes on and on. And everywhere we are, we got the same story. The same story. Nothing changed. The prophecy's consistent wherever we are. And if we go back to the motherland, where the Israelites that didn't make it on those ships are still over there blending and hidden in the mist, they got the same story that we have. Same oppression. Right? Okay, now let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 26. 32 and 26. Let's read 25 and 26.
The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
So the Most High said there, again, I will scatter them into the corners. And here's the kicker. As a kid, I always wondered, and I'm pretty sure many of us have wondered, where did we come from? Why we don't have a history? Why every year when they have Black History Month, they start with the slave trade, right? Why we don't know where we came from? Well, here is what the Most High said. I will make the remembrance of them to cease. Our memory of where we came from was stripped from us. In the slave trade, in the captivity, what did the captors do? They stripped us of our name, of our language, of our people. That's the reason why in the slave trade, the slave was divided. It was separating the husbands from the wives and the children, because they knew if you keep the families together, they'll be able to communicate and they will grow and develop a community of people. So what do? They divided us, right? Went this way, some went that way, some went the other way. And we're going to show you in another prophecy that in the midst of those captives that was taken captivity, Egyptians was involved in some of them, as well as the Elamites, or what we call, or what the ancient Persians, right, were on those same ships with the Israelites. Okay. Now, so the Most High said, he said, I will scatter you into the corners. When we say corners, we're talking about north, south, east, and west. You follow the slave trade routes, you'll find out that they went north, south, east, and west. Right? Read the next verse, 27, please.
Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and YAH hath not done all this. See? So he took care of that there. So he knew in this day and time you would have people say, oh, that's not why we end up here in slavery. That matter of fact, you got people that say the slave trade didn't even exist. Imagine that. Okay, now let's go to 1 Kings chapter 14. We're moving along pretty nicely. Following the story, what we're showing you is that the prophecies never change. The Most High gave the word from the beginning, and everybody else, the kings picked up, the prophets picked up. The kings were warning the people just like the prophets did. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 14, and I'm running my mouth. Hold on a second. Let's read 14 and 15. For YAH shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of the good land, which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking YAH to anger.
Now let's see. Who is that speaking there? Let's back up for a second. It's the Most High speaking, because if you go to verse 5, it says, and YAH said to Ahiah, behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick, and thus thou shalt say unto her, for it shall be when she cometh in that she shall feign herself to be another woman. Okay, but then so we know this is the Most High that's talking, and the Most High prophesied against Israel, and the verse before that, verse 13, what does that say?
And all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. because in him there is found some good thing toward YAH of Israel in the house of Jeroboam.
Okay, 14 what I meant.
Okay. Moreover, YAH shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day, but what even now?
There you go. Okay, so the Most High, in the next verse 15, as we already read, said that Yah is going to smite Israel, right? As a reed is shaken in the water. And then he said, he shall root up Israel out. So how do you root something up out? Right? You got you got weeds growing in your yard. If you want to get rid of the weeds, what do?
Pull them, pluck them.
You pluck them up by the root. So it's not grounded. That's a good way to put it. It's not grounded. So Israel was not grounded. The Most High plucked us up. We became hated, just like weeds, right? He pulled us up out of the good land, and he gave to their fathers, and he says, which he gave to their fathers. So to our fathers, the land that he gave to our fathers, he plucked us up out of the land. And he said, and he shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking Yah to anger. Now, we know those who say, well, Israel went back to Egypt, and that's what that's talking about. But this is saying beyond the rivers. Beyond the rivers of Egypt. See that? So this is not talking about Egypt, literal Egypt. This is talking about the new Egypt, which is America, right? Okay, now let's go to what is that, Nehemiah? Nehemiah 1 and 8 looks like. Okay, so we still dealing with this scatter, the Most High prophecy of scattering Israel, not a people that just relocated because it wasn't convenient, but they were forced out of the land. This is how you identify who Israel is. This is a continuation, right? Okay, so what I say, Nehemiah, Nehemiah 1 and 8. Huh?
Start there.
Oh, let me see. Hold on. Start at 5.
And said I beseech
okay, wait a minute.
thee.
That's in the middle of the thought too. Start verse 2.
That Hananiah.
Is that the beginning? That's not. Start verse 1 then. Sorry about that.
The words of Nehemiah the son of Hakaliah, and it came to pass in the month Chislew, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan the palace, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked him concerning the Yahudim that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before Yah of heaven, and said, I beseech thee, O Yah of heaven, the great and terrible Elohim, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments.
Read that again.
And said, I beseech thee, O Yah of heaven, the great and terrible Elohim, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments.
So he keeps
covenant.
That keep covenant and mercy. He keeps covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. So he keeps covenant with them. That's interesting how that's worded. Okay, go ahead.
Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which he have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moshe. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest my servant Moshe, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though thou were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there.
Well, that's good. So, in the days of the Babylonian captivity, right? Why is it that? Here's an interesting thing. You got to ask the question. The northern tribes went into captivity in 2 Kings chapter 17. What people say, the northern tribes never came back. Northern tribes never came back. But nobody ever asked the question, why? Why didn't the northern tribes come back? Why only did the tribes of Yehuda come back? Huh? I'm going to tell you why. He said it right there. So, something ought to tell you, Pastor Omar, Tybo, the School of Hebrews. Something ought to tell you something. These people didn't come back from captivity because they did not obey. That's what he said, verse 9. He says, but, that's the kicker. If you turn unto me and keep my commandments. Not teach, we under the old covenant, we under the new covenant now. Your stiff-necked, stubborn, wicked, disobedient behind is going to stay in captivity. And we're going to show you in the prophecy, only that 1/3 going to come out. The masses of Israelites going to remain in captivity because of your disobedience, right? Just like the northern tribes. Okay. So the Most High said, man, I got to blow my nose. Get me a tissue right quick. I cut this part out. I'm fighting with it. I'm just a snot in the carrot on, trying to. Shoot, the more I talk, the more it won't come out. Okay. One more shot. I'll do it. All right. So that's what the Most High said in verse 9. If you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them. Not say there, man, I wish I had my hammer. Nail to the tree. Right? That's what religion says. They're nailed to the tree. We're under the new covenant now. He said, if they will turn unto me and keep, not break, keep my commandments and do them, though they were of you cast out into the uttermost parts of heaven, that's the grave, the outermost parts of heaven is the grave. Nobody up in heaven looking down smiling. They're in the bosom of Abraham, the outermost parts of heaven. He said, as though you were cast out into the outermost parts of heaven, yet will I gather them from there, and I will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. So where did he get that from? Was that something that the prophet Netanyahu made up? No. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30. He was just quoting what the prophet, what the Most High said to the prophet Moshe, to them in that captivity. And just like I said, the northern tribes didn't come back from captivity because they didn't obey. What's so hard to understand about that? Those who don't obey will remain in captivity. They might end up getting slaughtered by the beast. Okay, 30 and 1 through 5.
And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither YAH thy Elohim have driven thee, and shalt return unto YAH thy Elohim, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then YAH thy Elohim will turn thy captivity, and will have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither YAH thy Elohim have scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outermost parts of heaven, from thence will YAH thy Elohim gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And YAH thy Elohim will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
See that? So from the top of that all the way down to verse 5, he said, this is prophecy. He says, it shall come to pass when all these things will come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, and you shall call them to mind. Not say they're nailed to the tree. It's just plain stupidity. That's why I had to laugh, because I can't understand why people can't people have a simple reading and comprehension problem, and then they want to get on the videos and make dumb stupid comments about what Paul said we're under grace, we're under the law, that's the old covenant. You stiff-necked, stubborn, disobedient, wicked Israelite, your behind gonna stay in captivity. Brother, that's so cruel. I'd rather be somebody be cruel to me and tell me the truth than to pacify me and give me words that I want to hear. The prophet spoke about that too, right? About them want smooth things, and what was it, smooth things, something like that? And prophesy to us smooth things, something like that. And people had itching ears. They want the prophet to tell them what the Most High said, make us feel good, right? Y'all rather have somebody, some smooth looking brother with a suit and tie on, right? Standing up and telling you, we're not under that no more. We're under the new covenant now. And he gonna end up getting thrown in the lake of fire with you. All right. So the Most High said, when you are in these lands, when you are in these lands, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations where YAH have driven thee. This is prophecy, brothers and sisters. It's no coincidence that we are in the lands where we are. And the Most High's prophecy does not change. That's why I can't understand how people can't get this. This is simple. This is simple math. 1 + 1 is 2. They add 1 + 1 = 500. This is simple. I mean, my grandkids could read this and say, Pop, it says that if we call them to mind. What does it mean to call something to mind? Huh? Bring it into your, huh? Call it into remembrance. Not erase it and say, no, you're not under the old covenant no more, right? All right. So then he said, 2, and thou shalt return. So he didn't just say call it to mind. He said return, and then he said what? Return and obey. He said call it to mind, right? Return, and then obey, right? And he said according to all that he command. He said, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul. I mean, that's just so simple. That's just so easy. You have to hire somebody to help you to misunderstand that. I mean, interesting thing about so-called religious people, especially these so-called pastors with DD degrees, triple Ds, that they can go all through the Old Testament and give you all the prophecies about the Messiah. But that's not nailed to the tree. But can't go through the Old Testament, as they call it, and give you all the prophecies, show you that's a continuation of prophecies, and all of a sudden, we're in the New Testament and it changed. You have to hire somebody to purposely mislead you from the biblical text. And that's what a lot of people have done, right? And I really truly don't blame the pastors. Who's to blame? Satan is to blame, really. Because just like he deceived Eve, the pastors are being passive, just like YAH, who the world called Eve. They're being passive and letting Satan trick them. What did the Most High say? I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of the prophets. That's what we see today. The Most High is a lion spirit in the mouth of the prophets. All right. So now the Most High said we got to return and obey, and our children, right? Teach our children all of that. And then he said, once he's satisfied, right? Then he said he's going to turn thy captivity, right? And have compassion. And then he will return and gather thee from all the nations where YAH have scattered thee. That's the antidote. You can't get around it. All right, let's move further. So we went to Nehemiah 1. Let's go to Psalms 106 and 27. Man, oh man, oh man. This is quite a day for me. I haven't been this stuffed up in a while. Anybody don't want me to share this, but I'm gonna go ahead, stuffed nose and all. I ain't editing nothing. All right, Psalms 106 and 27. All right, is that in the middle of a thought? Oh, let's go. Let's start at verse. Ooh, man. Well, let's go back. This is good stuff right here. Let's see. Wow, where we want to start, man? Shoot, let's start at verse 1.
Praise ye Yah. O give thanks unto Yah, for he is good, his mercy endureth forever. Who can utter the mighty acts of Yah? Who can show forth all his praise? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times.
Blessed is he that do what?
Keep judgment. And
No, don't judge me. Huh? Blessed is he that do what?
keep judgment.
Keep judgment. Not say, oh, we don't have to. Don't judge me. Keep judgment. Go ahead.
And he that doeth righteousness at all times.
Doeth righteousness at all times. Doeth righteousness. Not say Jesus did it for me, so I don't have to do it. That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard in all my life, my life on earth. Okay, go ahead.
Remember me, O Yah, with thy favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good of thy chosen, and that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, and that I may glory with thine inheritance. We have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known.
Stop that. I've never read it before. You at the Red Sea. Because we watched Charleston Heston, right? You see the children of Israel clapping and dancing and praising because they're going over the Red Sea. But here, he said they was provoking them even at the Red Sea. That's heavy. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. And the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. Then believed they his words. They sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted Yah in the desert. And he gave them their requests, but sent leanness into their soul. They envied Moshe also in the camp, and Aaron the saint of Yah. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan, and covered the company of Abiram. And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. They made a calf in Horeb, and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass. They forgot Yah, their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt, wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea. Therefore he said that he would destroy them, had not Moshe his chosen stood before him in the breach, to turn away his wrath, lest he should destroy them. Yea, they despised the pleasant land, they believed not his word, but murmured. Pages are stuck. But murmured in their tents, and hearkened not unto the voice of Yah. Therefore he lifted up his hand against them, to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed also among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor, and ate the sacrifices of the dead. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague brake in upon them.
That's good. So, man, you can't get around that. I mean, all through that. Notice what I want to point out is here in we read in verse, what was that, 27? He said, verse 25. They murmured in the tents, and hearkened not to the voice of Yah. Murmured in the tent. Just that's what we're doing today. We can't keep this law, brother. Jesus paid it all. Sometimes I just look at Israel and I just shake my head, shaking of the head. As the prophet said, Israel would be a shaking of the head. Just the same spirit that you could tell we Israelites Same spirit that was back then is the same spirit today. They murmured and complained, we can't keep the law. Then he says, 26, he lifted up his hand against them to overthrow them in the wilderness. All those people we read in one other account, when they left out of Egypt, what we said was about close to 6 million, was it? All of them died in the wilderness, except Joshua, who was it? Caleb, was it? That made it to the promised land.
I think so.
Yeah. And the little ones that came up, that next generation came up. But those that left out of Egypt, all those that left out of Egypt, might not have been a total 6 million that died in the wilderness because it was children with them. But the majority, the main population of them was slain in the wilderness. Now, think about this. The lands where we are scattered today is the wilderness. It's outside of the land of promise. That's where the wilderness is. The wilderness is the place where the Most High does what? Where he gave us his law, where he gave us his instructions and told us, this is what you're going to do when you get into the land. So those who are not willing to comply with the Most High's law, you will not go into the land. Don't you fool yourself. You're not going to go into the land. You're going to end up, if you're alive when the Messiah returns, you know, you're going to be dealt with, right? He talked about, he said, I'm going to purge out the rebels. All right, now. So that's it for that one. Let's go to, what did I say? Jeremiah 9? Yeah, Jeremiah 9. Yeah, Jeremiah 9 or Yeremiyahu 9. Let's start at 11. We're going to read 11 through 16.
And I will make Yerushalayim heaps and a den of dragons, and I will make the cities of Yehuda desolate, without any inhabitant. Who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of YAH hath spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth, and is burned up like a wilderness, that none passeth through. And YAH saith, behold, they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Balaam with their fathers, which their fathers taught them.
15.
Therefore thus saith YAH of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, and I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them.
Okay, now, question. Is this before the Babylonian captivity, or is this after the Babylonian captivity? You know what? I'm not sure. I think it was before. Okay, it's before. I was gonna go somewhere with it, but I don't want to be wrong. But so what did the Most High say? He said that he will scatter them among the heathens, right? Whom neither they nor their fathers have known. So this eliminates certain nations, wouldn't you say? the people that we were scattered among couldn't have been, he said, your fathers have not known, couldn't have been Babylon, literal Babylon, because our fathers knew Babylon, right? They knew Egypt, literal Egypt. So this scattering is talking about a people who are, their fathers have not known. I would venture to say that this is talking about the European nations, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. Because our fathers didn't know them, but our fathers knew the Babylonian kings, right? And all the Hamitic nations that we were under the captivity, Egypt and Babylon, right? But this prophecy is talking about a people who their fathers did not know. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to Jeremiah 13. It kind of reminds me of Deuteronomy 28. See, that's why we gotta understand that Deuteronomy 28 is talking about the last captivity, because he says the same thing. You will go to let me read it first. I don't want to misquote it. Hold on to Jeremiah 13. Let me see. Deuteronomy, what is that? Deuteronomy 28. What is it, like 64, is it? Let's see, is that 64? Hold on a second. Okay. It's 64, yeah.
Just 64.
Mm-hmm.
And YAH shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other deities, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
That's good. Where is that in there? Okay, 49. It's verse 49. Sorry about that. It's verse 49. What I was trying to get.
And YAH shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Okay. So Israel knew, we knew the language of the Babylonians, right? So that couldn't be talking about Babylon, right? So they had to have been talking about a people coming up. I think the Most High, we read it last week where the Most High called them the terrible of the nations. And I'm telling you, you got to look at this documentary that History Channel put up with called the Dark Ages of Europe, right? Where he called the European nations, they called their own Europeans that put the documentary out, called them the terrible of the nations. They called them the barbarians, the Vandals, the Scandals, right? Jutes, the Vikings, the Visigoths, and the Ostrogoths, and the Burgundies, and the 10 terrible nations in the Dark Ages. These are the ones that the Most High said that he was sent against us. The terrible of the nations. Right? Where is it at? Let's read that right quick. That's Ezekiel 28. 28:7. It's all prophecy. It can't be no other people that these prophecies is fitting but the so-called African Americans and Negroes and blacks and all the other bywords we known as. All right, what does that say?
28:7. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against thy beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness.
See that? So the Most High already gave us the names of the people. He said the terrible of the nations that would come at us with the sword. Right? All right. Hold on, Jeremiah. We're gonna come to Jeremiah. Let's go to Psalms 83. These prophecies fit one people and one people only. And we got people now, another block in the road, following after this Korean woman, God the Mother. That's just plain madness. Psalms 83, I'm sorry, 83. Let's read verse 1 through 5.
Keep not thou silence, O YAH. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O YAH. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
See that? So these people that hate YAH. See, I need to be on the camera. Maybe I had this part on the camera. You people that hate the children of Israel, the African Americans, blacks, Negroes, it's because you hate YAH. Let that sink in for a second. He said it right there. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. And because they hate YAH, they hate YAH's people. That's what he said. And because they hate YAH's people and they hate YAH, they've taken up crafty counsel and they're not letting you go. They'll rather lie to you and keep you believing you're under grace. So you're stupid. So your ignorant behind will stay in captivity while they continue to get the advantage or remain on the top. All right, let's continue. Oh, you finished it, right? Now let's go to Jeremiah 13. Uh-oh. You lean up when you're in the camera a little bit. You all right? I just wanted you to know you're on the camera.
Well, you said you wouldn't.
No, I'm saying I just wanted you to know you're on the cameras, so you know.
Glad you way.
In the event that I do put the video portion up. Okay. Jeremiah 13:24. Jeremiah. Let's see where we at here. Hold on a second. 13, what I said? 13:24. Okay, start verse 21.
What wilt thou say when he punish thee? For thou hast taught them to be captains, and as chief over thee. Shall not sorrows take thee as a woman in travail? And if thou say in thine heart, wherefore come these things upon me? For the greatness of thine iniquity are thy skirts discovered, and thy heels made bare. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Therefore will I scatter them as the stubble that passeth away by the wind of the wilderness. This is thy lot, the portion of thy measures from me, saith Yah, because thou hast forgotten me and trusted in falsehood.
Look at that. See that? Because you have, what do you say? Forgotten
me.
You've forgotten him and trusted in falsehood. Grace is a doctrine of falsehood. We in the new covenant is a doctrine of falsehood. The new covenant does not start until Israel is home. Jeremiah 31:31 and Hebrews both sync, and it tells you the antidote for Israel being in the land. But you want fables. You want somebody to tell you something that's false, full of falsehood. You trust in falsehood. Going to heaven when you die. Raptured up into heaven. I had a brother going back and forth with me all week last week because he wanted to go to heaven so bad. Every passage, biblical text that I gave him, he had another answer. Finally, he came back and said, "Okay, brother, I think you're right." I was like, I went through all of that just for that. And it was worth it. I praise Yah. I'm glad he was able to see some light, okay, at the end of the tunnel. All right, so we finished that, right? Wow, that was heavy there. You have forgotten me and trusted in falsehood. Did you read verse 26?
Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, and thy shame may appear. I have seen thine adulteries and thy neighings, the lewdness of thy whoredom, and thy abominations on the hills and the fields. Woe unto thee, O Jerusalem! Wilt thou not be made clean? When shall it once be?
Wow. On the hills. So you won't keep the Most High's laws, but you're going to keep Christmas, right? You'll have Christmas service. Oh, Jesus is the reason for the season. It's just plain madness. It's just, I can't even get mad anymore. I just have to just shake my head. You reject the Most High's feast days, but you're going to keep Christmas and Easter, which is coming up. And I know Pastor Omar, I know people hate me saying his name. I'm going to say his name until he either changes or take off the Hebrew off the name of his ministry, because he's not Hebrew. You're giving us a bad name, just like those wicked Hebrews out on the street corner cussing. Not under the law. If we was the law, you would be stoned straight up. I know some Hebrews today. If I was to call him on the phone right now, if he was the law, they say, let's take that brother out back, stone that brother. But y'all ain't ready. All right. Now, send me an email. I'll fill up my page with 2,100 word comments. Send me an email. Give me your feedback. AskMalachi@gmail.com. Don't fill up my page with your nonsense. You ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep talking. The more he does dumb stuff, he just put another video up talking about the letter to the Hebrews. I'm listening, saying maybe he's people say, oh brother, he's learning, he's new, he's learning. He is set. Just like we said on the law, he said, oh, we're not under the law. Ain't no shadow turning within. Ain't no shadow turning within on that brother. He needs a revival. He needs to go down the pool of Bethesda. Go under and stay down there. until he's almost, matter of fact, stay down there until he died and come up resurrected in new life. Maybe that help him out. Maybe if he gets baptized. I think some Hebrews, here's a cry. You Hebrews out there that in that area where he is, Lafayette, Louisiana, go down there and dunk that brother in the water. This Pesach. Grab him. Take him kicking and swinging. grab him. Take him kicking and swinging and just dunk him in the water on the Pesach. Don't even ask him if he want to be baptized. Just dunk him in. And maybe that'll change his theology, right? All right. Listen, little human. I know y'all like that. All right. I know we'll get 100,000 comments on that one, but I don't care. Send them on. This is not popularity content. I'm not on the YouTube trying to be popular. It's about telling the truth. We got to tell the truth. We can't take no prisoners, right? All right. So where we leave off at?
You finished that verse.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one here. Let's go to Jeremiah 18. All right. Yirmiyahu got a lot to say about this scattering now. See, we got a two-edged sword today. We dealing with the scattering and we dealing with the wickedness. All right. Jeremiah 17 and
17 or 18?
18. I'm sorry. 18 and 17. 18 and 17 is what I have. Let's go back. Let's start at verse 11.
Now therefore go to, speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith YAH, Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return ye now every one from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good. And they said, There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart.
Wow.
Therefore thus saith YAH, Ask ye now among the heathen who have heard such things, the virgin of Israel have done a very horrible thing. Will a man leave the snow of Lebanon, which cometh from the rock of the field, or shall the cold flowing waters that come from another place be forsaken? Because my people have forgotten me, they have burned incense to vanity, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths in a way not cast up, to make their land desolate and a perpetual hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and wag his head. I will scatter them as with the east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity.
Look at that. The Most High ain't playing, and we don't have to keep his law. You know, it takes real good intelligence, right, to believe that the Most High was sending people in captivity for breaking the law, right? And then once you get over into captivity, you don't have to keep that law, right? You going back to the land that I promised you, because there's nothing you can do anyway. It's already been written. That's how people believe. Why, you got something else in there? Man, the prophet Yirmiyahu ain't playing. When they call him the weep, was he called the weeping prophet? Was it Yirmiyahu? Weeping prophet, lament. All right, let's go to Man, oh man, alive. This is one of my Ish's favorite chapters here. This is Yirmiyahu 23. This is for you, Pastor Omar. Give me a call. Send me an email. I'll give you my phone number personally. I'll come down to Lafayette. We can have a lunch conference. Just you and me. All right. AskMalachiah@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll give you my phone number, personal number. You can call me and we'll sit down and talk. Okay? Because you're wrong about this new covenant. And I hate to see you thrown into the lake of fire for disobedience and teaching the people. Because what did the Messiah say? He said, think not, I have come to destroy the law. I have come to not to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law. And he said, and whoever shall keep the law shall be great, but whoever shall teach them, right? Whosoever shall break, I think it says, right? And shall teach others to break are going to be the least in the kingdom. Whatever that is. You think it's that you're going to be a servant? We ought to do a lesson on that. What does it mean to be the least in the kingdom? All right. Okay. So what I say, Jeremiah 23, this is for you. All right. 23:1.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yah.
Okay, stop. So the shepherds, when you're telling people to disobey the Most High, you are causing the people to scatter, not come together. Do you see that? That's what you got to see. When you're teaching the people to break the law, you're scattering the people. Okay, continue.
Therefore, thus saith Yah, the Elohim of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yah, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Now stop. Notice he didn't say he's going to gather those shepherds. Right? He said he's going to gather the remnant. So if you under that shepherd and you follow that shepherd and that shepherd is telling you to disobey the Most High, you're going to be left behind. Better watch Tim LaHaye's video, a movie, You've Been Left Behind. Right? All right, go ahead.
And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, neither be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yah. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will raise up David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called, Yah our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yah, that they shall no more say, Yah liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yah liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome, because of Yah and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers. For because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith Yah. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith Yah. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and as the inhabitants thereof of Gomorrah.
That's the grace doctrine. A pre-shadow of that grace doctrine right here. All right, go ahead.
Therefore thus saith YAH of hosts concerning the prophets, Behold, I will feed them with wormwood, and make them drink the water of gall. For the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land. Thus saith YAH of hosts, Hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make in vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of YAH. They say still unto them that despise me, that YAH said, they say still unto them that despise me, YAH have said, Ye shall have peace. And they say unto every one that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, No evil shall come upon you.
Isn't that what Pastor Omar is teaching his people? That's exactly what he's teaching them. No evil gonna come upon you. You gonna have peace, right? We under the new covenant. We gonna have peace. That's what he's teaching. Go ahead.
For who have stood in the counsel of YAH, and have perceived and hearkened his word? Who have marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of YAH is going forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of YAH shall not return, until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, and had caused my people to hear my words,
look at that,
then they should have turned them from their evil way, and from the evil of their doings.
Stop there. So that's what you should have did, Pastor Omar. When you came to knowledge you was an Israelite, stop and got in the counsel of the Most High. But now you have, whew, you playing on a dangerous ground. All right, go ahead.
Am I YAH at hand, saith YAH, and not Elohim afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places, that I shall not see him?
Nope.
Saith YAH.
Nope.
Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith YAH?
Nope.
I have heard what the prophets said. They prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. The prophet that have a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. Which is the chaff to the wheat, saith YAH. Is not my word like as a fire, saith YAH, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces?
That's right. Ain't no smooth thing. Don't speak to us smooth, brother. Tell us it's gonna be all right. The YAH of the old covenant don't change. All right, go ahead.
Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith YAH, that steal my words every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, saith YAH, that use their tongues and say, He saith. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith YAH, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith YAH. And when this people, or the prophet, or a priest, shall ask thee, saying, What is the burden of YAH? Thou shalt then say unto them, What burden? I will even forsake you, saith YAH. And as for the prophet and the priest And the people that shall say the burden of YAH, I will even punish that man and his house.
Wait a minute. What are they saying? The burden of YAH. Is that what the people were saying? Even in the New Testament, you putting burdens on people that our fathers couldn't bear. Right? They're saying what the Most High is saying for us to do is a burden. That's what they're saying. And what the Most High say he gonna say to them when they say it's a burden? He said he gonna. Did you read verse 34?
And as for the prophet and the priests and the people that shall say the burden of YAH, I will even punish that man and his house.
See that? Because you say it's a burden, Most High say he gonna punish you and your house because you saying that the Most High's law is a burden. Never read it like that before, have you? Huh? Go ahead. Come see.
Thus shall ye say every one to his neighbor and every one to his brother, what hath YAH answered? And what hath YAH spoken? And the burden of YAH shall ye mention no more. For every man's word shall be his burden. For ye have perverted the words of the living YAH, of the YAH of hosts. Thus shalt thou say to the prophet, what hath YAH answered thee? And what hath YAH spoken? But since ye say the burden of YAH, therefore thus saith YAH, because ye say this word, the burden of YAH, and I have sent unto you, saying, ye shall not say the burden of YAH. Therefore, behold, even I will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, and the city I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. And I will bring an everlasting reproach upon you, and a perpetual shame which shall not be forgotten.
Because you say the burden, the law's a burden. Oh, this law so cruel, it's a burden. That's what they saying. The prophet, he saw this age. He saw Israel saying, oh, that law is so cruel, it's a burden. Most High said, stop saying my law is a burden. My instructions is for life. It's not a burden. Right? But isn't that the doctrine of the church, Christianity? The law is a burden. All right, let's see. So we finished with that. That was some good reading right there. Do these passages, all pastors know? Y'all pastors know, you gotta know that's in there. You probably rewrite past, they probably rewrite past and skip on past it, right? Right. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 49. 49. We showing you in this lesson the prophecies of Israel. You can see the character of Israel in these prophecies, how we behave, how we act, right? We have a loyalty to the pastors. We saw that. The pastors are lying to the people. They're saying the law is a burden. Most High, he identified Israel through the prophecies. Same people saying that, right? Nothing has changed. All right, so Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49. Let's see where we at. $49 and $32. Let's see. $49 and yeah, I got $49 and $32. Is that right? Yeah, that's what I got.
Start there.
Let's see. Started at 28.
Concerning Kedar and concerning the kingdoms of Hazor, which Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon shall smite. Thus saith Yah, arise ye, go up to Kedar, and spoil the men of the east. Their tents and their flocks shall take away. They shall take to themselves their curtains, and all their vessels and their camels, and they shall cry unto them. Fear is on every side. Flee, get ye far off. Dwell deep, O ye inhabitants of Hazor, saith Yah. For Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon hath taken counsel against you, and hath conceived a purpose against you. Arise, get ye up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith Yah, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And their camels shall be a booty, and the multitude of their cattle a spoil. And I will scatter into all winds them that are in the utmost corners, and I will bring their calamity from all sides thereof, saith Yah.
Okay. All right, that's good. So, this is talking about Hazor being scattered into the winds. So, we got other nations that were scattered into the winds with Israel, and that may be why some people can't hear the word of the Most High. But it would behoove you to jump on the bandwagon with those that's trying, because he just might bring you under the covenant and spare you from the judgments is coming. Okay. 30, what I say? What's the next one? 34 through 36. This is prophecy to Elam.
Same chapter.
Yes.
The word of Yah that came from Yirmiyahu, the prophet, against Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, saying, Thus saith Yah of hosts, Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. And upon Elam will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven, and will scatter them toward all those winds, and there shall be no nation whither the outcasts of Elam shall not come.
Look at that. So Elam went into captivity just like Israel did. Maybe you're an Elamite. Maybe that's the reason why you can't hear the Most High coming. But once again, if you come under the covenant of Israel, you'll be saved. All right. Okay. Now where are we? Let's go to Ezekiel now. Yechezkel. See what the prophet Yechezkel had to say. This man was a deep brother. Was it Yechezkel? Was he Saul in half, or was it, which one was it? Was it Isaiah was Saul in half? I think it was Isaiah was Saul in half, I think. How did Yechezkel die? Okay. All right. I digress. Okay, so chapter 5. Let's start at verse 1. This is another prophecy. This is a prophecy for Israel. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Take your time. Yes, indeed.
And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thine head and upon thy beard. Then take thee balances to weigh and divide the hair.
So the Most High was instructing the prophet Yechezkel to sin. He told him to shave his hair off. Those Israelites, you're not supposed to shave your hair. And Most High told the prophet to shave his hair and his beard. Was he telling him to sin? Send me an email, askmalachi@gmail.com. All right, go ahead.
Thou shalt burn with fire a third part in the midst of the city, when the days of the siege are fulfilled, and thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife, and a third part thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them. Thou shalt also take thereof a few in number, and bind them in thy skirts. Then take of them again, and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire. For thereof shall a fire come forth into all the house of Israel.
See that? So now, what did he say? A third part thou shalt burn with fire, a third part in the midst of the city, right? And then thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife. So that's what, if you got three parts, or 3/3 make a whole, you got 2/3 that the Most High is, and they're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. Are you gonna be in the 1/3? 1/3. Really got a song. 1/3. 1/3. Are you gonna be in the 1/3, or are you gonna be in the other 2/3 of disobedience? That was the significance of the Most High telling the prophet to cut his hair off and his beard off, and show him the judgment that the Most High, because Israel's a stiff-necked people that won't hear the Most High, rather hear that pastor telling them lies and telling them smooth things, because you want to continue to. What did Yaakov say? You lust and you have not, because you ask not. You ask amiss, right? Mm-hmm. That you may consume it upon your lust. Okay.
Thus saith YAH, this is Yerushalayim. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. And she hath changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes. They have not walked in them. Therefore thus saith YAH, because ye multiplied more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in my statutes, neither have kept my judgments, neither have done according to the judgments of the nations that are round about you. Therefore thus saith YAH, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations.
Stop there for a second. The Most High is executing his judgment on Israel in the middle of the nations. That's why we having all this trouble.
In plain sight. I said in plain sight.
In plain sight.
In the sight of the nations.
In the sight of the nations. Donald Trump can't help you. He's part of the judgment. All y'all that voted for Donald Trump say, "Oh, he gonna help make America great again. And he gonna help." What you African American got to lose? What you got to lose? You know, you got everything to lose. All right, go ahead.
And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of thine abominations. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. And I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. Wherefore, as I live, saith YAH, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall mine eyes spare thee, neither will I have any pity. A third part of thee shall die with the pestilence, and with the famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. Thus shall mine anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, YAH, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Moreover, I will make thee waste, and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee, in the sight of all that pass by. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt, an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee, in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes. I, YAH, have spoken it. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send and destroy to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break off your staff of bread. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and the pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, YAH, have spoken it.
So verse 17, he said, I will send you famine. He said, an evil beast, the terrible of the nations, evil beasts, and they shall bereave you. Huh? What brings forth bereavement? What causes people to bereave? Death, right? So the beasts are the ones that's causing us to bereave because they're bringing death to our people. This is what the Most High said. But you under grace. All right, let's see. So that's your Kells 5. You read the whole chapter, didn't you? Woo! You can't get no more hotter than that. Okay. Had enough of the scattering. It's a whole lot more, but let's see. Let's deal with the gathering. Now let's do a little more scattering, and then we're gonna deal with the gathering. So we left off at what? Ezekiel 5. This list goes on and on. All right, let's go to chapter 12 then. Let's just pick a couple of verses. Let's do 14 and 15. Let's start at 13.
My net also will I spread upon them, and he shall be taken in my snare, and I will bring him to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans, yet shall he not see it, though he shall die there. And I will scatter toward every wind all that are about him to help him, and all his bands I will draw out the sword after them. And they shall know that I am YAH when I shall scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the countries. But I will leave a few men of them from the sword, from the famine, and from the pestilence, that they may declare all their abominations among the heathen whither they come, and they shall know that I am YAH. So we can't stop declaring the abominations. Those of us who are of the remnant, I want to read this here. This is kind of relevant, but this doesn't have anything to do with. It does indirectly, but I've been quoting it all morning long, where what the Messiah said about the gate. Hold on a second. Boy. Matthew 7. That's it. I'll read it. We read it? Okay, Matthew 7. Oh. Okay. Verse 12, 7 and 12. Matthew 7 and 12. Sorry.
Okay, Matthew 7 and 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter ye at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Right? And many there be which go in therein. See that? 14 says, but because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. That's what the Most High wants us to have. The straight and narrow. The broad street, right? When you go to most major cities, the main street, or one of the main street, is going to be Broad Street, where everybody is. All the happenings is. That's not where YAH is. So if you're looking to come into this covenant as an Israelite, and you're looking for a mega Hebrew Israelite congregation, you're going to find one. You know what a mega Israelite congregation is? 5 people. And if they got more than 5, they're like super mega. 20 maybe. And most of it's going to be your family, because a lot of people, this is the straight and narrow way. This is not the broad way, right? So when you come into the truth, you got to come into the truth looking for truth, not looking for the masses of people. That's a deception. When I came to this walk, I'm looking for the masses of people. Man, I know people ready to hear this truth. Man, we can go into one of them 10,000 seat mega congregations and give them the word, and they're going to grab it and going to run with it. Messiah said the sower sowed the word, and the seed fell upon the stony ground, the wayside, thorny ground, and good ground, right? So that parable was very powerful, right? All right, let me see what I want to do here. Do we read Ezekiel 12?
Some of it.
You read it? Where was I at? 12. What did I give you?
I think I started at 13.
Oh, you read it. My bad. Okay, you read it. Where was I at? Okay, let's go to 20. This is the prophet. The Most High is consistent with the prophecies. He didn't change. Same message. He's given to the prophet the same message, right? And we're going to close it down with what the Messiah said 700 years later. Okay? After the time of the kings. The Most High's prophets didn't change. They said the same thing. Right? What I say, 20? 20 and 23.
I lifted up mine hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the heathen and disperse them through the countries.
Why?
Because they had not executed my judgments, but had despised my statutes and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols.
I mean, it's just repetitious. The Most High is hell. He scattered Israel because they did not execute his judgments. Don't judge me. Right? Because they despise his statutes and polluted his Shabbats. Whew. All right, go ahead and continue to read.
Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, and that they cause to pass through the fire all that openeth the womb, that I might make them desolate, to the end that they might know that I am YAH. Therefore, Son of man, speak unto the house of Israel, and say unto them, Thus saith YAH, Yet in this your fathers have blasphemed me, in that they have committed a trespass against me. For when I had brought them into the land for the which I lifted up mine hand to give it to them, then they saw every high hill and all the thick trees, and they offered there their sacrifices, and there they presented the provocation of their offering. There also they made their sweet savor, and poured out their drink offering. Then I said unto them, What is the high place whereunto ye go? And the name thereof is called Bama or Bama unto this day. Wherefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith YAH, Are ye polluted after the manner of your fathers, and commit ye whoredom after their abominations? For when ye offer your gifts, when you make your sons to pass through the fire, you pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day, and shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? As I live, saith YAH, I will not be inquired of by you. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, When we will be as a heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. As I live, saith YAH, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. So will I plead with you, saith YAH, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me, and I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am YAH.
Ooh. So now that's the great harvest. Because see, what people don't understand, we're in the wilderness already. We're right in the wilderness now. We're not there. Listen, this is probably not a popular Hebrew teaching, but we're not going to go to another wilderness. This is it. This is the place of purging right now. Right? When the Messiah comes, he ain't going to teach us again. Right? Right now, he's teaching us now. See, we're looking for another Exodus, where we're going to get another chance, where we're going to sit in another place in the desert. We're in the desert. This is the wilderness, brothers and sisters. You don't have another wilderness. Right? When the Messiah comes and gathers us, right? That's when we are going to take over the nations. Right? We're going to be changed. Ain't going to be no need for nobody to. That's when we talk about the new covenant. When he write his laws in our hearts, when it says it, when Shaul says it, he said, we shall be changed. I will write my laws in their hearts. It won't be no need to be taught. He gonna take, just like Yahshua is the walking Torah, he gonna put the Torah in us, and we're gonna walk it. That's what the changing is. Stop looking for something else. This is the place of purging, and those that don't obey is going to be left behind. If you are alive, you'll still have a chance. But if you die in your sins, you just might find yourself waking up after the 1,000 years is complete to be judged and to be thrown and cast in the lake of fire, where the beast and the false prophet are going to be. That's what the book say. Send me an email, askmalachiah@gmail.com. Now, this extension of another wilderness never made sense to me. And I never taught it because it to me, it was like people being raptured up into heaven for 7 years. Right? Only the remnant, those the Most High finds of the 12 tribes that he has declared that are going to be his cabinet, those are the ones that he's going to have to rule the nations with him for 1,000 years, right? So that seems like a good place to stop right there. Unless you want to keep going. All right, we're going to end right there. Then that was a good place to stop. Most High gonna gather us. He scattered us. He gonna gather us and bring us under the bonds of the covenant. Right now, because when he was talking to here's the thing we got to get. We talk about proper exegeting passages and proper hermeneutics, as they call it, which is another deity, Greek deity. Okay, but proper way of reading the text. Question we got to ask is, when the prophet Yechezkel was prophesying this, where were Israel at this time? Huh? The people he was prophesying to were in the land, weren't they? So when he said that I'm going to send you into the wilderness of the people, he wasn't talking about Jerusalem. He was talking about the people of where the land you're going to be held captives. That's the wilderness of the people. Not another place. All right. So that's all I got for today. And prayerfully you got something out of this lesson. And I'm going to say, as I always say, until the next time, may the blessings of the Most High YAH be with you and your family. Shalom, shalom, shalom.